Hi, sixth grade drummers, Mr. Y here, obviously. Since we didn't really get to talk too much about the warm-ups this morning, I thought I'd make a little video to kind of clarify everything and to make sure that you guys knew what to do for this week. The sixth grade percussionists, instead of doing a long tone exercise, that wouldn't make too much sense for you guys, I'm going to have you guys do a couple of lines of rudiments this year. Rudiments are kind of the basic building blocks of music in terms of battery percussion, kind of like scales are on the regular instruments, I suppose. And I just wanted to also kind of make sure we're all talking the same language about how we hold our sticks and all that kind of thing. I know Mrs. McCarter and Mr. Stopak may address this just a little bit differently in terms of the language they use. And I kind of want you guys to get used to the way I talk about it because, you know, you're stuck with me for the next 3 years. So, just a couple of reviews on the basic drumstick stuff. First of all, if you don't have drumsticks or pad yet, email me, we can figure that out. We'll try to set you up with something or get you equipped in some way. You won't need mallet instruments yet this year. If you do have bell set at home, that's fine, but don't go out and rent one. If you need to borrow one for the year later on when we're doing mallet stuff, I do have ones here at school that you actually can check out and take home to practice on, or you can practice on a keyboard instrument too if you have that at home, a piano or an organ or an electronic keyboard or something like that. Okay, but just to address the basic stuff in drumming, what I tend to think about in terms of how you hold your sticks, okay? You want to kind of mentally divide your sticks up into 3 parts so that you've got a lower third and a middle third and an upper third. And the place you want to grab them is at the lower third right there. So you've got about 1/3 of the stick below your fingers and about 2/3 of the stick above your fingers, okay? The way you want to hold them in your fingers is you want to have your thumb on one side and the second joint of your index finger on the other side. You don't want to have it way back like this on the tip of your finger or way up like this. You don't want to do the fist thing. Okay, really these 2 fingers are the ones that hold the whole drumstick. These other fingers just kind of curl around easily. They don't even really touch the drumstick most of the time. Sometimes you'll get onto your middle finger when we're doing buzz rolls and stuff later on. But for the most part, you just hold it with these 2 fingers, really. When you address the pad or the drum, sticks are going to form a triangle or almost forming a triangle. They're not quite going to touch, but they do kind of form a triangle on the pad. You don't want them way out like this on the pad. You don't want them way in like this on the pad. You don't want to do this or this. You want to have your elbows nice and loose. And if you do this right, your arm should kind of fall right exactly there if your sticks are pointing in the right direction. You don't want to do this because that makes rolls really hard later on. And also this, okay? And there's other stylized ways you get into it later with, marching band and, playing all kinds of other crazy stuff. But for right now, the basic place that you want to address the drum is just as a triangle, okay, on the drum pad. On the warm-ups, the first line we're going to do is what's called flams. Flams, I'm sure most of you guys know, are where you start with one stick down toward the drum and the other stick up in the air, and the stick that's down, the bottom stick, hits first. Okay? The flam should sound like one sound. It should be very close together. The 2 hits should be very close together, so it sounds like this. As opposed to, that's not a flam. Okay, that's 2 separate taps, but it's not a flam. Okay, you want to have a flam where you start, like I said, you start with one stick down, one stick up. The bottom stick hits first, so in my case right here, it's going to be left, right, and then at the end of that one, I'm going to freeze so that my next flam can be right, left, and then left, right, and then right, left. You'll see on the sheet here, I've got it starting with the right hand, so I'll start with the right hand. Right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, and then on the sheet we do the repeat, so we go back and do all that again. On the sheet also, you'll notice up at the top it says, remember to do sticking on all lines, remember to reverse sticking on all lines, and do all the repeats. So, the first time we play line number 1, the flams, we're going to play it right-handed the way I just did. Right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. Then we're going to repeat that. Do the same exact sticking the second time through. Okay? When you get to the end of the repeat on that second line, you're going to reverse the sticking. What I mean by that is you're going to take the right, left at the very beginning and reverse the 2. So you're going to make it left, right instead of right, left. You just take all the rights and make them lefts. You take all the lefts and make them rights. So now we're playing left-handed flams. So left, right, right, left. They're the same flams, really. They're not all that hard on flams. Later on, when you get into other harder rudiments, they might be harder, of course. Okay, but for right now, they should be really, really easy. Line number 2, you can see, is the same kind of thing, except this time we're doing paradiddles. So instead of flams, we're doing paradiddles. Paradiddles, if you don't remember, are where you have one stick first, and that note has an accent. So on number 2, the way I've written it, the right hand is first. So it's going to be right with an accent, and then left, and then 2 rights in a row. Now be careful. This has to be a steady rhythm. It has to be right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Some people try to make the last two notes faster because they're in the same hand. Don't do right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. That is a different thing. That's a rhythm that we do later on, but that's not a paradiddle. Paradiddle, all the notes are equal. They're all eighth notes in this case, the way I've written it. Okay? So the right-handed version of number 2 would be right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Repeat. You're probably also noticing the accent on the first note of each paradiddle, the first note of every 4. The way you do an accent, of course, is, if you were looking carefully, you saw this, I'm just picking up my stick farther before the accent. So most of my sticks are way down here. Most of the sticks are staying way down here, but when I have the accent, I'm picking it up further. So for instance, on number 2, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. You can see right before I do the accent, I'm picking up the stick farther because that makes it hit the drum a little bit harder. Really, the hard part about accents is not the accent. It's making everything else not accented. That the tricky part is. To play right down here, you have a lot of control as a drummer. If you're doing this all the time, you don't have any control as a drummer. Okay, you need to be able to play fast and slow and loud and soft and all kinds of different stuff. So if you're playing with control, that's the most important part. Also, I should talk about the tempos here because we've got different tempi going on here. Tempo, of course, is how fast or how slow you're going. You can see on number 1, I have marked 60 beats per minute in the right hand and then the left hand, and then 96 beats per minute in the right hand and left hand, and 120 beats per minute in the right and left hand. If you don't have a metronome already, you can have a physical metronome like this, or you can use an app on your phone or on the computer. It doesn't matter. Computers are really good at doing metronome stuff because it's basically just counting, and that's what computers are good at. So if you have one of these on your phone you want to use, or whatever, it doesn't matter. You will need one as a drummer this year, though, because tempo is very, very important to the drummers. You guys are really the heartbeat of the band as far as tempo goes. It's very, very easy for a drummer to play any tempo even without the band. The drummer can play tempos that the band is not playing. It's almost impossible for the band to play a tempo that the drummer is not playing. So the drummers have a lot of power in terms of the tempo here, which means you guys have even more responsibility than the rest of the band in terms of how close you need to be to actually my tempo. You need to be with me all the time. If you guys get messed up, I guarantee the whole band is going to get messed up too. Okay, so really important that we have the right tempos. And especially at the very beginning here, you can see the first one I marked is 60 beats a minute. 60 beats a minute is pretty slow. Check it out. Okay, your tendency is going to want to be to go, oh, I know flams really well. I can go a lot faster than that. No, the whole point here is to be under control. So when I do the 60 beats per minute on my right hand, I'm going to start with the right flam first. So flam, flam. You can see it's really slow. And that was the right-handed line number 1. Then I would do left-handed line number 1. So left, right, right, left, left, right. I'm doing the repeats. By the way, it is really important that you do exactly the right number of measures too. Don't just guess. Don't just get into the zone and just keep going whatever. You do need to do exactly the right number of flams and then paradiddles and everything else later on too. So make sure your eyes are following along on the chart. Okay. After we do 60 beats a minute, you're going to change your metronome to 96 beats per minute. That's a nice medium kind of tempo. Okay, and do the same thing. Number 1, right-handed. So flam, 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 etc. Do the repeat. Then do it left-handed, etc. Do the repeat. And then you're going to move up to 120 beats a minute, a faster kind of tempo. Now, if you can't do this right away as a drummer in 6th grade, that's okay. We can build up to it later. But probably some of you guys can do this now, I would imagine. Actually, with flams, it's not a lot hard. But be really careful to stay right on that tempo. That's the important thing. Your tendency is going to want to be to go too fast. Okay, we all want to go too fast. That's what I want to do too. Now, after you do the right-handed and left-handed version at all 3 tempos on number 1, you're going to do the same thing on number 2. So paradiddles, we're going to go back to 60 beats a minute. paradiddle, paradiddle. Remember the accents. Again, your tendency is going to want to be that you're going to want to rush that. Okay, don't rush it. Be in control. That's a really important thing as a drummer. Then, after we do both hands of that, we go to 96. Paradiddle, paradiddle. Do both hands of that and the repeats. Then you're going to go to 120. Work your way out through that. Okay? Now, the way you're going to show me that you're doing this, you're not going to print this out, guys, but I printed it out so I could show you. You can see here on the chart what we've got is I've got flams, 60 beats per minute, right hand. After you do the right-handed version of that, you put a check in the box, or an X in the box, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay. Then you put an X in the box for left hand. You do 96 beats per minute, right hand, left hand. You do 120 beats, right hand, left hand. Then you do number 2, the paradiddles, same way. Okay. That's all on that one line right there. The first line, you can see 9/14. That's today, the 14th of September. Okay. Then tomorrow, when you do this, Tuesday, you're going to go to the second line, 9/15. Do them all the way across. Wednesday, do the same thing, all the way across. When you come back in next Monday, you should have all the boxes checked off. The standard is if you can do at least 6 days out of 7 and do all these lines and put the X's in the box, that's an A. Okay, so it's a pretty easy A, actually. All these warm-ups all together, all told, shouldn't take you more than 10 or 15 minutes at the most. Won't be that big a deal. The important thing right now is to kind of get your hands back in the right gear, start to build up the muscle control again in your fingers, because you probably haven't been doing too much of that in the summertime, and to get you into the routine of practicing just a little bit every day. The only way you get really good at anything is to make it a habit, is to make it a routine so that you do it a little bit every day. My thing is I'd much rather have you practice small amounts of time more often in the week. The number of days you practice is a lot more important than the number of minutes. So if you can practice 10 or 15 minutes, that's what this should take you every single day. That's going to be the way to get to be a good drummer or a good musician in general. Okay? Good luck with it. If you have any questions, just email me. You know where I am. Thanks.